Hi everybody, I'm going to take you through some of the tabs in our course and help you to learn how to navigate through them. The first tab that you will see, and the default one that shows up when you open our course, is the Announcements tab. If there are any announcements that I've left, they will show up here, and you can always open that up to see, and they will stack, so you should check here whenever you log in at first every time to see if I have left a new announcement. Notice you've also got a bit of a calendar here that will pop up if I have given an announcement on a certain day, so that can also be an indicator that there's a new announcement. It'll also show if things are due. This is another place where you can see assignments that are due, so I'm in a prior semester right now. So what we can see is there are some upcoming assignments. It tells how many days we've got to go until those are due. Also, it'll give you over here your overall score. Since we're viewing my view, I have not done any of the homework at this point, so I have 0 points. This is what yours will look like when you first log in, but as you move through the course, you will see this percent change based on the percent that you are earning in the course. And there is another kind of image here that shows how you're progressing through the course. So this is always updated. Every time you submit an assignment, these things right here change. So you always know exactly what you are earning in the course. Okay, once you move on from the announcements, we have the Start Here tab. So we are going to then, that's actually where you are right now. And as you know, I've got some videos here helping you to get started in the course. And then here's our syllabus if you ever need to refer to when my office hours are, how to contact me, any question about the course, due dates, things like that. Again, all of that is found here, but I go through that in a separate video. I'm going to skip the getting help one right now. I would like to talk about that in a completely separate video. Your gradebook is somewhere that's very important. So when you click on the gradebook tab, it will again show you that percentage that you're getting. Here it will actually break down your calculation on the specific different criteria, like what are you getting on your homework, what are you getting on your quizzes, and what are you getting on your tests, so you can kind of see where your strong points are, where maybe you're a little bit weaker. You'll also see the different homework assignments and tests and quizzes and discussions and whatnot in this bar right here. Then down here, we don't have anything right now, but as you do assignments, they will populate in here, and this will start to fill up. This is where your completed or even in progress assignments go. So if you ever need to go back and review, if you want to go back and look at your prior 1.2 homework, you can always go under this gradebook area to do that. You can review, you can see any comments. I will leave you comments on your exams. This is the area where you would want to do that. Then we have our Statcrunch tab. I will talk about that one also in a different video, or there are other videos explaining exactly what to do under here. But here's where you can go if you want to just launch Statcrunch. You can also launch it from the questions themselves. But if you want to have it open on the side, you can go through here. Then we do have what is called the study plan. If you go under the study plan, what you would basically want to do is there's a lot of practice problems, practice assignments here, little quizzes. None of this is graded. This is all optional. This is for you, for your own studying purposes. So if you please feel free to mess around under the study plan area as much as you want. You cannot hurt anything when you are under here. If you do things under here, it will track your progress. It will show you things that could still be worked on, things that you have mastered. And then if you want to, you can always go to all chapters, and it gives you a chapter by chapter look. Under any chapter, what you can do is break it down by section. And under that section, it gives you problems. These are all of the problems that are in section 1.2. So some of these problems will actually be on your 1.2 homework, and some of them might not be. But this would be a completely separate area where you could rework those problems without hurting your grade or affecting anything in any way. So those are kind of the generic tabs that are sort of built in. Now when you actually work through your work, though, you're going to see that I've got them labeled week by week. So for week 1, we'll click on week 1. There is an introduction on what week 1 covers, what our chapter 1 goals are. For week 1, we are covering chapter 1. And there is a list of all of the assignments. So you want to make sure that you click off that you actually do every single one of these assignments by the end of week 1 in order to get full credit. And then there's a reminder down here that your homework assignments could be completed late at a 10% penalty. Quizzes, however, have to be completed on time. You cannot complete a quiz late. And your discussion posts must also be completed on time. You cannot complete those late. And some more information down here. So that's kind of the overview of week 1 / chapter 1. And then on each of the individual section pages, what you will find is what we're studying, a link to the textbook, and a link to that specific study plan. You will then see my lecture videos that you are able to print. So if you click here, you will be able to bring up a PDF and print it if you so choose to follow along with me on our lecture notes. Of course, I recommend that. And then there will be a video, or possibly multiple videos, of me going through, lecturing, and filling in the notes. So I definitely recommend that you print those out and follow along with me. That's the best way to kind of mimic what it's like to be in a classroom setting and to get all of that material. So that's the sort of required part of every week, is to watch my lecture videos and get that information down. And then I will also always have a supplemental materials area where I will include possibly other videos, possibly other text with a little bit more explanation about what we are studying. So that stuff is more if you want to watch it. Definitely I took the time to put it there, so I think it is helpful. It definitely can help you, won't hurt you in any way. So any of that supplemental stuff there. And then the final thing on every page will be a link to your homework assignment. When you click on this link, it will take you then to the homework questions. This one is, I'm recording this video early for you guys, so this homework doesn't actually start until the beginning of our class. But what you should see here is a list of questions. You work on those. And then you move on to the next section and repeat. Here's a link to the text, to the study plan, download your lecture notes, watch your lecture, fill them out. Here are some supplemental videos and thoughts. Complete your next assignment. And you just work your way down this list, all of this for week 1. Once you get all of your homework assignments completed, you will then take the chapter 1 quiz. You get 5 attempts at the quiz. You must complete it by the due date to receive credit, but remember that only your best attempt counts. If you would like to get some extra practice before you attempt this, you can certainly go back and look at your homework, look through the study problems. Once you submit your quiz, you can review it in the gradebook, and you can look at, and if you have any questions, you can certainly send me an email as you're reviewing those. And then the final task, not that you have to wait until the end of the week to do this, but the final task that you have every week is to do your discussion. So every week we will have a discussion that's due by the end of the week. You are to read and follow the prompts here, answering. So week 1 is a simple one. Week 1 is just an introduction. So you've got some specific things that I want you to answer. I want you to send me an email and some other things there. So that will count as your attendance for week 1. Then you go back out after week 1 is week 2, same type of stuff. What you will also notice is everything is the same, except for some chapters will require us to use that Statcrunch. And if we will be using Statcrunch in that chapter, then you will get a list of Statcrunch commands. So ways to help you with, when I go to this program, how do I enter the data so that I get my answers back? Okay. Finally, once you do all of the weekly assignments for a unit, we will come to our exam week. For the exam week, all you have to do is the test, and you will have a detailed list here of when the unit, what the unit exam covers, when it is due, some links to the testing center so that you can make sure the hours will work for you. There's a practice exam. On the practice exam, you will get to practice those essay questions that I've talked about. And then when you're ready, you'll come take the exam, and the time limit I usually try to go for is between 1 and 1.5 hours. So you always want to make sure you leave yourself time to do that. If there are any formulas that you will be provided on your test, I'll let you know what those are. If a formula is not provided here, then you need to make sure you know it. I would always bring some kind of a calculator to the exam. Again, even just a basic scientific one. Graphing is fine, anything you want, but bring something. Here is where you practice for your exam, and here is where you would actually take the real exam. You would click on this link to open up the true exam. Once it opens, then you will be able to access it there. And again, we will follow that structure through the rest of the class.